just about everyone in the world picked you to win this series. You're playing a team who have 2 key players out with injury, probably for the whole series. And you go into this game, Landy comes back. You get 6 power plays and you goose egg. Avs are in big trouble.
Including a double minor in overtime. On Landy Day. 0 for 6 on New Issue Day. On Landy Day.
Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. I am your host, Dan Powers. Alongside me, when we were children, we played a game on Sega Genesis called Mutant League Football. It was some of the best times we ever had. Years later, I found the game, bought it, plugged it in, realized it was a one-player game, and he was lying to me for years. Chris Powers.
As always, still am. I literally told Dan.
Genuinely one of the meanest things you've ever done to me, but also kind of nice.
Well, you know, it depends on which way you look at it. I told you wanted to play. Here's the selfish part. I wanted to play more.
You found a football video game that you were loving, and I wanted to play, and you didn't have the heart to tell me it was a one-player game.
And I thought it was a 2. And the thing
is,
when I got it. Not when I was telling you. Like, I was like, yeah, we'll go play. I wasn't like, please get this game so Dan can't play it. I was like, yeah, we'll just both play this game. This will be sick. We turn it on, and dude, maybe looking back all these years, I guess you confirmed it, but I was like, there must have been a 2-player feature that I just couldn't figure out.
No, man, I think that wasn't as rare as you think. Back in the day, there were a lot of video games that were like, dude, we didn't make this to be played by multiple people.
Yeah, so I plugged it in, and I was like, oh, dude, he can't play. And dude, we would rent the game, so we only had it for a day or two, and we only had a couple hours to play before Mom would be like, homework and dinner or whatever. Bullshit. So I was like, I'm not giving up my playing time for you. That was the selfish part. But I also wanted to hang out with you. So I was like, dude.
I don't think I believe you. I appreciate that, and I want to believe that. But I think I was young enough, dude. I was in that window where I was easily duped.
Oh my God. And you thought you were like picking plays. You weren't doing shit.
You were like, I don't want to stop playing this game. And you were just like, oh yeah, Dan, just pick up the controller, dude. We'll play together.
Yeah.
Like that. You weren't like, this is so cool, I'm hanging out with Dan. You were like, I'm getting everything I want right now.
I was like, run, Dan, go. Yeah. Good job.
But they were very formative moments for me. Like I think about Mutant League Football a lot.
And I was like, good job, dude.
Yeah. I remember very specifically, I don't remember what the teams were called, but I remember there was a team with a rose, and they sucked. And we were always like, let's play them. Let's bash
I didn't know
them,
that. All I remember from it, other than this, obviously, is the one team that we always played with had like, honestly, like a Sonic-looking guy. Like the running back like rolled.
He rolled.
Yeah, and he would just like truck stick people. And I was like, just hand it off to him, dude. And I told him that was you. I was like, you're doing it.
You're a running back, dude.
You're a beast.
Honestly.
Good times.
Great times.
Good times, dude.
It was devastating when I got it later and plugged it in and saw it was one player, and I looked at you like, you Judas, son of a bitch.
You motherfucker.
You absolute piece of shit. But
by then we were playing
we'll never lose those times.
Yeah, we won't. That was sick.
We are going to jump into these series. Absolutely. Here we are again, guys.
Late night.
11 p.m.
Netters
Boys,
after dark, dude.
Wags, we're here. We're ripping it, making sure everything's up to date for you. We just came from the Kings game again.
Sorry for the Kings sweatshirt again. I'm in a $7,000. It's not like the guy in the $7,000 suit is going to hold the door.
Come on. We got to talk about the Harmona Queens, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Here's the deal. Kings come out game 1 against the Oilers. Every arena around these parts, you have, you got a lot of places that have one person that sings the anthem every single time. Yep. Todd Angeli in Boston rips it. Kings do a big rotating door. They've got celebs. They've got people who come through. On Monday, game 1, they brought out I want to get it exactly right. It's the Korean retirement home.
And I want to say our girl Hannah came out and sang "Oh Canada."
Which
is goated.
Hannah's goated.
An unbelievable rendition of that tonight by her. I actually thought she went.
Dude, she puts soul into a couple of the moments, and I'm like, oh hell yeah,
incredible.
Dude.
So shut up.
Hannah's the best. The Koreatown Senior and Community Center sends over these unbelievable ladies, and they play the national anthem on harmonicas, and it is pure electricity, folks. Genuine Thomas Edison style, first time you've ever seen it, feelings of electricity?
I have a couple things to say about game one, though. They came out in like garb and like.
Well, they were in their
Asian garb.
Korean robes.
And I think you reacted too. I don't know if you'll admit it now, but I was like, what? This is insane.
It's really quiet.
Yeah.
And there's no singing. So it's just harmonica, and credit to the fans, everyone started singing it
Which
them.
I thought in game one, I was like, this is insane. Then I was like, oh, this is actually sick. Because all the Canadian rinks, everybody's singing. And I was like, this is actually so sick. But then they, understandably, play so slowly that the crowd
They're old ladies.
The crowd is way off, singing so early, half the rink singing. I was like, dude.
And then it's so loud, you can't even hear them.
Right, dude. So I was like, this is nuts.
But it was perfect. I agree. I looked at our friend Michelle and I was like, this is a choice.
Yeah.
But I wasn't saying it was a bad choice. I was like, this is interesting.
Yep.
And boy, was it fantastic. And I'll tell you what, dude, here's what I said. The second we got to the game, we saw the gals again. We knew they had to come back. If you win the game, you don't change the lineup, dude.
Yeah. Well, dude, we were talking.
You win the game, you don't change the lineup.
We were talking to some people on the Kings staff. We were also talking to Kat Toffoli.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are you guys hearing about them bringing the Korean senior group back? And we had heard from King staff that they were like, we're not sure that we can perform again 2 days later because we need to rest our
They get
vocal
tired.
cords, which is tremendous, dude. Like we have fucking Keith Richards, like Bruce Springsteen, like iconic rock dudes who have done more drugs than Columbia combined, performing, belting out songs night after night on tour still. And these people are like this. I'm actually not sure I can swing Wednesday night, dude.
You think they're not doing drugs, dude? They're doing Eastern medicine shit, bro. Stuff you've never heard of.
Yeah, dude, you're right.
They're going back to that senior community center, and they are going to fucking town, dude. They're not tired because they're vocal cords. They're tired because of the party there.
The loony bin, dude.
Oh, dude, they go.
So I wasn't even sure they were coming out, even though everyone wanted them back.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if they can do it. Then, dude, the lights come on, and I saw where they were, and I saw someone up there, but I didn't see the garb, and I was like, damn, they didn't get them.
They were in jerseys.
Dude, lights come on, whole squad in Kings jerseys.
They were in jerseys.
Whole squad in Kings jerseys.
Absolutely love these ladies. So it's going to be fun to see them return because I don't think they're on retainer now.
Oh, dude, because everybody, I think Biz was maybe the first, but everybody started getting on this Harmonic Kings thing.
Oh, it went viral immediately. The Harmonic Kings is just phenomenal. Utterly phenomenal.
So yeah, they're locked. They're locked for the rest of this playoff run. And that's what, sometimes you just need something like that, dude. Sometimes it's literally something like that.
Things happen. They pop up and they just give you mojo for the rest of the run. And these Korean community senior center ladies might have just done it for the Kings.
So amazing.
Before we get into the series, you were assaulted tonight, dude.
Dude, so we spent the first period down in our seats.
Yeah, we went to the bowl, lower bowl.
Suite, because it's actually just fun being in the mixer.
Yeah, get in the mix, see some people.
When we go down to our seats, there is my seat. The guy behind me has his feet like draped all the way over, like it's like a recliner at his house.
Yeah.
And that's the ottoman, not my seat.
We got there early, and I just want to jump in and say, horrible etiquette.
Yeah, agree.
Because even
Someone's gonna sit there,
if no one's there yet, don't put your dirty shoes all over the back of their chair before they even get there.
So we sit one over from our seats because I'm like, I'm just not going to deal with that yet. He'll eventually move, and then when the person who needs these seats gets here, we'll all slide over. So the person who needs the seats that we're in gets there, and he had moved his feet by then, so I slide into mine. And the game starts, and he's an Oilers fan, by the way, not that I care, but like he's an Oilers fan, and he is buckled, dude. Like,
guy, my man is fully trolleyed already. The puck hasn't even dropped.
Correct.
And this guy
it looks like
is
he's
just
with a crew,
toasted.
but they're in like random stuff. Like I couldn't tell what was going on. There was like one dude sitting next to him in a King shirt, and I thought he was beaking him, and then I was like, "Are you actually his friend?"
Yeah.
Because he kept being like, "Why are you an Oilers fan?" And he was like, "Since today, like I'm fucking what," you know, he's just like out of his mind. And I'm like, whatever. And then the game starts, dude, and he is just putting his feet on the back of my seat, you know, just like resting his foot there, but it's like pushing me forward because that seat folds down.
Oh, yeah,
so it's just pushing me forward a little bit. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care enough about this. And
I'm not going to be here the whole game.
I'm leaning forward talking to you guys. I'm like, this is fine. I'm not getting into this. And I don't know if it was because I wasn't reacting to that or something.
Well, first, they were talking very loudly. They were going back and forth, and me, Loop, and Gavin, we kind of turned around because someone said something about being an Oilers fan. We turned around and I was just smiling. Like, people are saying hi to us, you know, and we turn around and I look at him and again, smiling, peaceful. And I turned back and before he even said anything, I started to turn back and he's like, yeah, turn around, buddy. And I was like, I
didn't do anything.
The fuck you yell?
Yeah.
What do you say fuck me for, dude? Like, I'm sitting here.
So I'm leaning forward and he starts pushing on the seat so hard that I'm literally like this. Like I am literally, dude.
You're getting folded in half.
Nearly folded in half. And I'm just I'm just watching the game. I'm nearly folded in half watching the game like this. And I'm still not saying anything. And actually at this point, one of his boys, or maybe not his boy, I don't know, the guy next to him though goes, hey dude, like
stop.
You're folding that dude in half.
Yeah.
So he takes his foot down and I kind of like go like this. And I look over at the dude who said something and I kind of went like, thank you. Yeah. And then foot comes back. Boom, boom, boom. Folded in half. And I kind of like look back.
You would have let this guy wipe his muddy boots on your
on
Todd
my back.
Snyder
He could have put it on my
sweater.
back. $600 sweater. Dude, so he's folding me in half again, and I look back at him, and I'm smiling. I'm literally just like smiling because I'm like, is this like a bit, or what are you doing? And then he just starts kicking it. So I'm like, this, doof, just bouncing, dude. Like
I didn't see any of this happen,
dude.
by
Just
the way.
bouncing.
Like, I don't know what
I'm
is
just
going
literally like this, and then his boy's like, bro, dude. And then all those other guys are like, what's going on? He's like, he's kicking this kid. He's literally kicking him. And he goes, you got to stop kicking him, dude. And I'm like, okay. So then I get back up, but he's still got the foot down. It's just not, I'm not in half anymore, but he's just still there. Then the Kings score, and I get up, and I'm like cheering, and I wasn't cheering as loud as I normally would, which we'll get into later, but I was like, oh, okay, goal. And now I'm standing, and we were in kind of like, there was like a mini aisle next to us, so there was access, usually it's like a wall of seats. So I'm standing there, and he just starts taking his left foot and drilling me in the calf, like kicking me as hard as he can in the leg. And I just turn around again, and he goes, you like that, dude? You like that? And I was like, not really, dude. Like, this sucks so much.
Dude, like, at what point listen, again, I didn't see this. We talked about it after the game, but we were all talking about what you would do in that situation. And to be clear, completely sober.
Yeah.
In a setting where we are, I'm not anonymous.
Yeah, right.
And I said, absolutely, when it comes to the chair kicking, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I would have just tried to laugh it off and been like, oh, yeah, whatever. When this man eventually was harming your physical body, the fact that you just sit there and smile and take it you are the strangest guy I've ever met in my life, dude.
Is his end game literally fighting me in the crowd?
Yeah,
right there?
probably.
Like he's like, I hope we fight and get both thrown out.
We see those videos of fans fighting at games, and that is that guy.
Because, dude, if I literally turned around and pushed his leg off me and went like, stop that, he would have thrown hands in my face immediately.
He would have stood up and been like, what the fuck are you gonna do, bro? What the fuck are you gonna? It's how all these videos start. And yeah, it's funny. People will make fun of Swifties and stuff, like people who lose their mind at concerts. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's if you are an adult man or woman.
Yeah.
And you go to a sporting event and get in a fight that you start.
Yeah.
You are the scum of the earth, dude. You are the bottom of the barrel sludge that needs to be scraped off with a paint scraper. And I don't understand it. That game had barely started.
Oh, dude.
And my man was crinkled beyond belief and was just thinking to himself, I'm going to get in a fight with a Kings fan. And you're not even a Kings fan.
Yeah, dude.
You're just a guy in a Kings sweatshirt.
My favorite was he was just making fun of everything. Like if there was an empty seat, he's like, look at an empty seat. They don't even like hockey here. Like everything. He had like every time there was like a clear penalty on the Oilers, it was bullshit. Shit would happen to the Kings, and he's like, cry about, all this shit. And at one point, the Oilers get a 2-on-1. Janmark comes down. Gavrikov makes an incredible play, slides, blocks the pass, and the crowd cheers. And the dude behind me goes, "Oh, you shut down Janmark." And I was like, "What a ricochet!" Janmark didn't do shit to you, dude. I can't believe he's catching that stray, dude. So I got folded in half for the entire period, and then I almost didn't even want to go up to the suite because this guy's gonna think I ran.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, got him out of here." But I was like, dude, I'm going like.
Then you decided I don't want to watch the rest of this game at a 45-degree angle, so I'll go upstairs, please.
Fucking brutal.
Absolutely savage.
Taking a quick break to tell you about this bet BetMGM deal they got going. It's the hat trick jackpot, okay? All you have to do is download the BetMGM app. Use promo code NETTERS. That's NETTERS. And so many good things are going to happen to you. It's insane. If you make your first bet and it loses, you can get up to $1,500 in bonus bets just for using the promo code. And then if you do the hat trick jackpot, you can pick an anytime goal scorer. And if they score, you win the bet. And if they score 3 or more, you get your share of 10 G's in bonus bets. That is ridiculous, and I need you to stop missing out on that opportunity and start popping that opportunity as your boy pops 3 or more goals, because that's incredible. Share of 10 Gs, download the BetMGM app, use that promo code NETTERS, NETTERS, and get rocking. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Let's jump into our series. Folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, we are dialed every single day. We did our live this morning covering the 4 games from last night. So this episode, we're going to be deep diving, giving you our hot takes on the 3 series that were played tonight. We've got Colorado, Dallas, we've got LA, Edmonton, and we've got Montreal, Washington.
Yep.
We're going to start with Colorado, Dallas, right?
Yes, we are. And to reiterate what Dan said, if you missed anything, if you're like, God, where's the Bolts Panthers coverage? It's on our YouTube right now. And I'm going to fix this moving forward because we're going live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But right now, that video appears in the live tab. So literally go to our YouTube. Yep. If you hit videos, you're not going to see it. And you're going to go, where's all the other footage? Click live. And it's the first one. Puckline News, episode 1. Boom, there it is.
And it's also on our Spotify, right?
It's on Spotify. It's on Apple, I think. It's on audio. Yeah. And I'm going to make sure they're in the video tab moving forward. But if you missed your series, it's in there.
It's in the live tab.
Go watch.
So jump into these series.
Stars, Avs.
You got a hot take for me.
Hot take. Jared Bednar has the best flow in the coaching staff ranks.
Yeah, that's definite.
And is being severely outcoached by a bald man.
Ooh.
Severely outcoached. And Dan, not to throw my own ricochet, he's being outcoached by a guy who I think has been outcoached in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In his career. Yeah. Like, it's actually one of my flaws of his, where I'm like, hey, dude, make an adjustment. And that man is currently outcoaching Bednar.
I hate always agreeing with you, but I'm so with you on this one. And it goes back to last year, too.
Dude, take me through the path. For the people that don't understand, because don't forget, Dallas got that horrible Vegas matchup in the first round last year, beats Vegas after losing first 2 at home, and then goes to Colorado, gets Colorado in the next round and beats them. Colorado. They knocked Colorado out last year.
Yep.
Remind the listeners what the order of operations were in the series of Dallas, Colorado last year.
Folks, last year, round 2, game 1 at American Airlines Center, Colorado wins 4-3 in OT.
Steals 1.
Game 2, Dallas wins 5-3. Then we head to ball. Colorado, home ice. Dallas wins 4-1. Dallas wins 5-1.
Takes them both.
Now they're up 3-1 in the series. Then we go back to American Airlines. Colorado wins 5-3.
And to interject there, that's when people like me start going, now you're fucked if you're Dallas because Colorado's winning at home and now it's game 7 and blah, blah, blah.
Then we head to Ball Arena again. Double OT game for those who don't remember. Dallas wins. So, folks, if you're not keeping track at home, that's 3 straight wins for Dallas in Colorado. And now here we are. Landy comes back. You play this game, all the Momo in the world. Heiskanen's out, Robo's out, and you lose this game in OT with a 4-minute double minor to start.
Dude, but even ignoring that, we're now into year 2 of being unable to beat the Dallas Stars at home in the playoffs after beating them twice in the regular season. And it's the same thing's happening. You stole game 1 and then you go lose game 2 in Dallas, lose game 3 in Colorado. And now you are facing a extremely, Colorado's too good to call this one must win because they could win 10 in a row, but an extremely important game 4 at home where you haven't been able to do shit.
I love how reactionary playoff hockey
it's
can
crazy.
get. You lose one game and you can freak the fuck out. I mean, look at Tampa, Florida. We talked about it on the live this morning. If Colorado just comes out and wins emphatically like they did in game 1, in game 4, we're 2-2. We're, as many would say, right where we expected to be after 4 games. But, dude, this game, it was just so bad. It feels like Dallas genuinely has Colorado's number, certainly at home.
Yeah,
and
right.
the Avs just, you can't go 0 for 6 on the power play.
Dude, so the power play, 1 for 4, I believe, in game 1, 1 for 3. And it's like, you're not going to be maybe what the Leafs are right now, what the Kings are right now, what the Oilers were last year. That's not always going to happen where you're just like, we're automatic.
50%. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So getting, a 1 for 3 day is good. Like a 1 for 4 day, you're like, I'm scoring on the power play. Like I'm getting my goal. So those aren't horrible. But this one, 0 for 6, and having a full 4-minute double minor high stick that started with like 30 seconds left in regulation or whatever. And I don't want to dismiss there was a couple scramble chances at the end of regulation. So I don't want to dismiss those because there was like, if that one puck gets squirted loose to Natchez, it's a goal. But there was the best chance that came in the OT was the fucking Stars. The Stars had a 2-on-1 on the shore.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, dude, I think, and it's tough because we're at the Kings game, we're like watching this game on our phone.
Yeah.
There was a play, I'm gonna see if I can actually find this, but there was a play, I think, on that peeper where one squirted loose and maybe Lehkonen had it. But dude, there was a near open net. And like so it was like a la Michael Ryder, Dan. I think it was Lindell. I'm gonna see if I'm just gonna pull up the highlight. I think it was Lindell. Makes like
Lindell
makes like a glove save on an open net in overtime, which saved the entire game.
Lindell eating shots, making huge plays in that OT and third period, frankly. He deserves a knighthood in the state of Texas based on what he just did. That was a phenomenal performance.
Yeah. So
especially when you think about Heiskanen's out, like you need guys like him and Harley to step up, and he stepped up and had a huge.
Because we're talking so differently. If Colorado just scores on that power play, they're still 1 for 6, which is bad. But we go, well, they got one when it counted, and they've won, and they're up 2-1. They protected home ice. It doesn't matter.
Probably even say you stole it.
Lindell makes a glove save, and now Sagan. And I actually think that might have gone like right back the other way. I'm going to find this highlight.
Yeah.
But gargantuan moment in the game. But 0 for 6 is unacceptable on every level.
It's unacceptable. Yeah. While you find that, I think that the interesting thing about that game for me, you win the faceoff battle as Colorado. You win the physical battle. I think they significantly out-hit them, if memory serves.
Oh, dude, look at this
46-34 on hits. And the power play.
Watch this. Sorry for the viewers. We're watching this highlight.
We're watching this highlight right
Open
now.
net OT.
It's such a
Lindell's
massive
glove save.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
The shot breakdown was nuts to me. Dallas all over them to start this game. First period shots were 14-5.
Yeah.
14-5. And then after that, 4-8, Dallas to Colorado, and then 7-12. Colorado just, dude, fuck me. Like, dude, 12 shots in the third.
Let's actually talk about that first period real quick.
Yeah.
If you're the Avalanche, that's frustrating to me because usually as the road team in a playoff game especially, and the first time this home crowd has seen their team in the playoffs, you're going, weather the first 10. Here come the Avalanche, literally get out of the first 10 0-0, and then we'll play hockey. And you compound that with the return of Landeskog. The Avalanche getting ragdolled that period that can't happen. Like, you should have been out insane clown posse running around like psychopaths for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, dude, this is it. Like, playoff fucking hockey, our captain is back, we're on home ice, everything. Like, getting beat that period, getting outworked that period is mind-blowing to me.
I agree. We talked about the vibes of Landy coming back. We're going to be like, they're going to be so juiced up, fully torqued out there, they're not going to be able to skate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. It almost feels like the opposite happened. Like the nerves were so intense that they almost exhausted themselves.
Yep. Yeah, I like that take. Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. It's totally a thing. That absolutely could have been what happened. But yeah, when you go back to the coaching take that you said, you look at some of the line jumbling that's going on. You look at the power play lines too. Is Landy an unbelievable player? Yes, but Landy's on PP2 in that game. Again, you had 6 power plays in that game. And Landy's on PP2. He's getting out there. I don't know that Landy needs to be on the power play just now. Maybe give him a second to ease into it. You don't necessarily need to give him PP time. And I have no idea. I'm not watching their practices, but there do just seem to be things in this series that could be going very differently based on some coaching decisions. And for me, if you look at a game, you go into game 3 tied 1-1. Dallas isn't fully healthy. Colorado seems to be the stronger team on paper. You're playing at home. You get 6 fucking power plays in the game, and your goalie's given up 1 in regulation. You cannot lose that game.
Yep.
I treated shocking loss from Colorado, and that's not to say anything bad about Dallas. You know I fucking love this Dallas team. It's to say the situation. 6 power plays.
Yep.
It's crazy, and I won't lie. I picked Colorado in this series. I love what this Dallas team is doing.
Dude, they can't lose again for year 6. You know, like for Avs in 6, like you literally can't lose to Dallas again, which is crazy. And I just want to say too, massive stick taps credit to this Dallas squad for Dan losing, what was it, 6, 7? I can't remember. 6, 7 games in a row to end the season. 2 horrible out of the playoffs, nothing to play for, would rather lose for my draft pick teams.
Really
and
tough
then
losses.
Getting ragged 5-1 in game 1 and going like this, we are better than this, it doesn't matter. Like this, I give them so much credit because this was right there for this season is over. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but we have completely fallen out of form and we can't fix it. It's the quicksand. It's the Shane Falco quicksand thing.
Hondo P.
So I don't know if it's a DeBoer speech. I don't know if it's the leaders in the room. Whatever it is, somebody got those boys to just dial the fuck in, and I give them a ton of credit. Even if they had lost this game, just like the way they've played Colorado the last 2 games to save their season, potentially, to truly save their season. Unbelievable effort.
Mental toughness out the ass.
Yeah, dude.
To get clapped in game 1, come into game 2 and go, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Battle. You just battle. And then this game, you weather that third period storm. That's, I'm going to give a double wrister to your boy, Otter.
Thank you. I was about to go there.
I mean, shit. That's a great game. Only gives up 1 in regulation. And again, that third period stood on his head, had some help there from Lindell and OT, but Otter, this was a steal of a game for Otter.
Dan, thank you.
I'm gonna give Otter the steal
I guess
award for
only
this
8
one.
shots in the second for the Avs, but 8-4. I wanted to say the second period, the Avs were in complete control.
Yeah.
And Otter made some really, really timely saves. There was actually an incredible series at the end of the second we were watching. It was like a Nate partial breakaway, big Otter save right into a granny off the pipe.
Yeah.
That, the guy, whole game swing in those moments. But I thought Otter played tremendously, and that's the guy they've always wanted and believed in, Couple other quick hitters for me. So happy for Tyler Seguin. So happy for Tyler Seguin. Comes right back and is producing just like he was before he left.
I don't know why that is such a feel-good story.
I know, I love it.
But it totally is.
Yeah.
I feel like Sags went through this phase where people were like, he's washed, he's old, get him out. And then last year, he was amazing.
Dude, and it's actually kind of an emotional story with his hip, where he's like, dude,
Definitely.
I was fucked. I couldn't play. And now he's back. And
he's back, and it's so, we're talking a little teaser. Chris Chelios joins us on this podcast episode. We were talking to Chelly earlier, and he was talking about Landy being like, I don't think there's a guy that more people are rooting for than Landy. I think that is true.
Yep.
Seguin does feel like a very universal, it's awesome to see. Coming back from an injury, being one of the older guys. It's interesting. I feel like Sags is kind of one of these forever young dudes in my head. But he's an old vet on this team, and goddamn, he's just performing. Him and Dutchie, and Ben, obviously. They just keep fucking getting it done.
Incredible tip, by the way, from JB
Sick
Ben.
tip.
And credit to DeBoer, dude, for slotting Seguin right back in on that line that was so productive. The Marchment, Dutchy Sagan line, and that could have easily been like, well, you've been out, we moved some guys around.
Yeah.
Here's your job back. Show me what you got. Goals in 2 straight, OT winner in this one. And on that play, I actually think it was so big because that play starts. The secondary assist goes to Mikko Rantanen, his first point of the series, and that play starts with him, like that get out there and the whole rush.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's as simple as that. You see a free throw go in, whatever, but just like boom on the board, OT winner. And now here we go. Because like early in the game, he was like whiffing a couple. Like he was like coming down the wing and whiffing. And I was like, dude, you need a therapist or something.
Take a breath.
Like,
take a breath.
Maybe you just can't hurt Nate's feelings or whatever. But
Take a breath.
Yeah, so that was sick. And then we'd be remiss to leave this segment without just saying that Nishushkin's goal was fucking gross.
Oh my God.
Dude, and it looked like Dutchy. I feel bad for him because it was like, where'd who go?
He
Like,
was kind of pointing.
Yeah,
He
Dutchy's
was like, who's picking him up?
standing there and he's like,
Who's picking him up?
What's happening? And then Nishushkin walks right down Main Street. And I was like, that was a bad look.
Yeah.
So gross goal, but not
Gross
enough.
goal.
Not enough.
And do also want to say, win or lose, seeing Landy come back was very emotional.
Incredible. Yeah, not much on the stat line for him, but he played 13 minutes, hits, credited with 6 hits.
Yep.
But yeah, I think he's going to get more and more comfortable. Any issue with you there, or are you just like, keep rolling, bro?
Yeah, keep rolling, bro.
Yeah.
For me, again, the 13 minutes makes sense to me.
Yep.
Can't go too hard too soon. I don't think he was out there slowing anyone down.
Yeah.
It does suck. The result
Yeah.
sucks. Not just because of the loss, but you only get one goal. There were some sloppy moments, but I don't think that has anything to do with Landy. I think the fans were just so happy. I'm telling you, man, I think there is an element where that must have been so emotional for the players, the coaches, him, that maybe they were just almost emotionally wiped.
Let's say to your point, because great call, massive congratulations.
Congratulations.
First NHL player to literally ever return from that surgery. Literally ever.
Ever.
So,
and you think about we can't say it enough, guys. 2022 was the last time this man played.
dude, I miss like a couple months of beer league when we're on the road, and I come back and I'm like, I can barely skate. Missed 3 years and jumped into an NHL playoff game.
Seriously, I think it's one of the more impressive physical, mental, and emotional feats the game has ever seen. For him to come back, it's unbelievable. Love the guy. Departing this series talk with your hot take, what do you think going into Game 4? Is Colorado spooked? Is this series over?
No.
And do you think that they can get it done?
Like I said, I actually think that they can lose this game and it's still not over because they're that good.
Wow.
They can win 3 straight. They don't want to, but they can win 3 straight.
Yeah.
But if you lose Game 4 at home again, I think you're like, fucking Christ, dude. And how close are these guys coming back? Like, is Miro back next game? Is Robo back? Like, what the fuck?
I haven't really heard much on Robo. Miro keeps skating, but
Yeah.
I think it's mind games. I really do. I really do.
Yeah. So, like, that's a ticking time bomb if you're Colorado, where you're like, dude, you better not lose Game 4 and then be like, fuck, now here come the reinforcements for Dallas.
Yeah, it's another thing. I don't want to dog the guy, but again, Rantanen kind of quiet. And
Assist, though.
Yep.
Yep.
And you're just like, can you imagine if he gets going? It's like you're in trouble, Colorado. So I think Game 4 is very important.
Yep. Okay, take me to the next one.
Going to take you to the next one. We're doing Kings Oilers. Here is my hot take. This series is completely different at Rogers Place.
Yeah, fuck. I was afraid you were going to say that. I don't know. Okay, you keep going. I got something to say about this.
Different.
I got something to say about this.
I think this performance was massively important for the Los Angeles Kings. Such a good game. You look at the couple of goals that Kemper let. We talked about it, right? You score 6 in Game 1.
Yep.
You're LA, but we saw it get tied 5-5, almost choked it away. And we said, Kemper, dude, little leaky, buddy, little leaky. 2 goals in this game. One was one of the sexiest bang finds Leon backdoor all day. I said it on Twitter. This fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
He
it was
feels
a tip, though, right? Didn't they tip
it was
that
just
in?
backdoor. It just tapping.
Okay.
Like, no, it was not a tip. It was like a almost like one of those bank things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's so good.
Dude, he's
I said he's. I think my line was he's a brick shithouse with the hands of a Swedish massage therapist, and he's so big. Being at the game, watching guys try to rub him off the puck, try to put him into the boards.
Yeah.
He reverse hit QB today.
Yeah.
And QB's a big boy, dude. Like he's 6'4", 6'5", and he's just such a big fucking guy. And to be that skilled and that good, it's absolutely out of control. But this Kings team comes out, they get 6, the 2, like I said, that one, and then I think it was Arvidsson, right? It's
yeah,
just
there's another
threw a
tip,
screen,
kind of, yeah.
another tip. It's just like nothing you can do. So good from Kemper to be like, yep, I was great today, made some big saves, some power plays. You shut down the power play, that's big. Their power play keeps going. We're in bizarro world. The LA Kings power play is the most unstoppable thing in the world against the Edmonton Oilers. Like, genuinely, we're in bizarro world.
Dude, I wrote down, Kings power play, 3 for 5 tonight, 2 for 5 in game 1, Oilers 0 for 2 in game 1, 0 for 3 tonight. How the turntables.
How the turntables.
Fucking insane. They must be pulling their fucking hair out in that room.
What
where
they're stroking it in the room.
No,
right?
the Oilers just must be like, this was our magic bean, dude. Like, we would just be like, oh, we're not that good, but if you take a penalty against us, which you will, remember we would be like, just don't take penalties, but they're like, well, they're too fast, so I have to take a penalty, and then they automatically score.
Yeah.
And now the Kings are still taking penalties, and they just kill everyone with ease.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers take frustration penalties, and then the Kings ram it down their throat.
That was something I wanted to say. The Kings PK does look good, and the Oilers power play looks good too.
Yeah.
It's obviously they're not scoring, so I'm sure they're saying, what are you talking about? We suck right now. But they're getting good in zone movement. They're getting good shots on that first power play in the first period. I was like, oh, goal, goal. And they're just, Kings are getting unbelievable sticks in lanes. They're rotating so well. They're covering that back door because that's what they're looking for. That back door, far side post net front presence is what they're looking for. And they connected on it a couple times. And there were some great blocks by the defenders, great saves by Kemper. So really incredible performance from the Kings because they needed to show we can score on this team, we can score on Skinner, and we're not going to get leaky. We're not going to let it go to waste. That game got to 3-2. And then, another power play, boom, goal. Just great statement win by the Kings to go, that was not a fluke. We didn't almost choke it away, and we're going to do that again. This was a big win. While I love everything this Kings team is doing.
Yep.
The AK line's out of control. Morsey's playing so well. I don't need to go on and on and on. The Oilers are the Oilers, man. And I don't want to wax poetic here and sound like a bitch, like I'm pumping anyone's tires. It is such a genuine treat and pleasure to watch Connor McDavid play hockey.
It's crazy.
Being in the arena, watching this fucking kid play hockey, watching Leon play hockey, they are the 2 most dangerous people I've ever seen in my life. And it's that's not me saying that I think Leon is leaps and bounds better than guys like Makar or Nate or Cooch. It's them together. There's something about them together. People talk about it all the time, how cerebral they are. They find each other on the ice in insane ways. Their chemistry is out of this world. Seeing that live, it's wild. And not naming names, talking to some of the boys on the Kings, they say it too. They're like, it is nuts being on the ice with those fucking guys.
Yep.
And you look at the way they move and how dangerous they are at any fucking point. You get a 2-goal lead, you get a 3-goal lead. All of a sudden, Connor has the puck in the neutral zone, and you're like, this is now a 1-goal lead. This is, what I mean?
Yeah. Dude,
I know, to finish my hot take, and then I'll shut the hell up. I know what it's like in that arena in Rogers Place. And I know what those fans are like. I know what that fucking province is like and that city is like. It is different. Being in Alberta is different. Being in Edmonton is different. Hearing those fans is different. No, there's no disrespect to the LA. That barn is rocking last 2 games.
Yep.
But a Rogers Place home game is very different. And as we just said last series, everyone gets so reactionary in playoffs. We get too horny. You get too nervous. There's nothing stopping this series from being 2-2 the second you come back to LA. There's nothing stopping the Kings from sweeping. But I am saying it is a very, very different game. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now going, no shit, idiot. It's a different arena. I'm just saying it's so different, dude. It's so different. You can look at all the other series. This one might be the most drastic. That's what I'm trying to say. It is so different these two teams in that arena.
The Kings beat the Oilers actually once in Edmonton in this regular season, but they were much worse. Part of being so good at home when you don't win your division means you probably weren't that good on the road. And the Kings were 17, 19, and 5 or something on the road. So they haven't been a great road team. Edmonton knows that stat. Obviously, they know that this series doesn't start till someone loses a home game. So I'm very with you on that. And even though they're not truly desperate yet, because you cannot manufacture we are facing elimination. You just cannot. And they are not facing elimination with the Oilers. But obviously they don't want to go down 3-0 because you feel like you're dead and you got the home crowd. And I think Connor doesn't want to go out this way, obviously.
For sure.
And I just do want to touch on your point. What you just said about McDavid.
Yeah.
The Kings, you can see it in the way his opponents play against him. Like they start running backwards. Like he starts to get it and it's like, it looks like Beerly when you just jump on and you're like, oh shit, we have a bad gap. Like I'm fucked. The NHL dudes are like sprinting backwards to just try to not get torched. I've never seen that before. It's fascinating.
It's insane to reference Cinderella Man, second time Cinderella Man today.
Incorrectly at first, but then correctly. Yeah.
It's that scene where Jimmy Braddock has a great round against Max Baer. And then Max Baer comes out bloodied and like charging at him, and Paul Giamatti, his character is like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah.
Like that's how it looks and feels. And anytime he has the puck, it's fucking mental.
Yeah. So you're right in that this is going to be a whole new animal, and it would be a kick in the dick if you're a Kings player or a Kings fan to come back 2-2, where you're like, "Damn it."
I don't think it would be. I don't think it'd be a kick in the dick.
Right now you're like,
oh, you're buzzing.
Get us a split and we fucking got them.
Yeah,
you know,
you're buzzing.
Yep.
It would be a bummer. I'll give you a bummer.
Yeah.
Because you're all over them. 12 goals in 2 fucking games. If you go into Rogers and you get shut out.
Yeah.
For example, in Game 3, or Skinner lets in 1, you are like, fuck me, goddamn it. So I'll give you that, but it's like we said. I mean. I think I predicted Kings in 7. Every team's going to win at home. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I think you actually did say that. I think you did say that.
I did.
That's sharp action by you.
Well, I mean, it might be. I might be an idiot. They might sweep. But I don't think it'd be a kick in the dick. But it is a wind out of your sails, and we're right back to square one, right? But yeah, man, 1 goal in Rogers by McDavid. The roof blows off that fucking place, and we got a whole new series.
But I have to give the Kings credit because I just said about Dallas, mental fortitude coming out their ear holes. This Kings team, dude, up 3-0, here we go again. And then that late second period Oilers goal, just like fucking clockwork. Don't let the Oilers score in the first 5 minutes of the third. Bang. Just like clockwork. Yeah. We were looking at each other and sweet like, this is fucked. And not only is 3 goals not going to do it for the Kings, 4 might not even do it for the Kings. And they said, no worries, dude. We'll get 6 and completely locked it down. I give them so much credit for not death spiraling again.
Agree.
Because that would have been so easy.
And that's why I said such a good performance that Kemper shut the doors. Because those are 2 good goals. Yeah. Those are hard goal shots to save. So I don't discredit him at all for letting them in. And then to shut the door. And the Kings team to shut the door.
Yeah.
You've got so many young players. Shout out Mo. Jacobs out there getting good minutes in, playing well. Spenny looks fantastic. It's against the scariest.
Clarkie scored.
Oh, fuck. I mean, Clarkie, dude. He's
nasty, nasty.
I love watching him play so much. But it's against a couple of the scariest people in the world. It's a tall task. So that was big. That was really, really big.
Okay. Or go ahead.
We do need to talk about Skinner.
Yes, thank you. Skinner yanked. And actually something really funny happened at the arena. I don't know if you could hear it on TV, but the crowd has been chanting Skinner all series. And I was about to say, that's a Kings thing. It's not a unique Kings thing. But since the 90s, the Kings fans have chanted the goalie's name when the goal goes in. Skinner. I thought we were doing that. Yeah, we were. I stopped. It was my bad. Skinner gets yanked, and the crowd doesn't know it yet. So then Juice fucking nips Picard like bottle service.
Buddy.
I don't even know. I think half the rink, maybe even him, didn't know it went in at first.
He knew. There is a photo of him that's the rudest thing I've ever seen. I told him it was rude. There was a 2011. Boston playing Vancouver. One of the first games, Boston finally started scoring, and they yanked Luongo.
Yeah.
Put in my boy,
Schneid's,
alum,
right? Yeah.
Corey Schneider. The literal, I think, first shot on net that Schneid saw was a Michael Ryder tip that went top Chetty.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so fucking
It's
rude,
outrageous.
dude. So rude. Picard goes in, and Juice comes down and fucking bar Mexico in and outs him. And I was like, dude, this guy has a family.
It's uncalled for.
Like, what are you doing, Adrian?
So the crowd, dude, after the goal is like, Skinner.
I actually think they were chanting Pickard. They were going, Pickard, but I might be wrong. Because I was like, oh, guys, Skinner is not in net. And I was listening to it, and I was like, I think they're saying Pickard.
I think they were saying Skinner. I think, at least some people near me, because after that, they switched the chant to, we want Skinner.
Yes.
And I was like,
That was really rude.
And the camera guy, the Jumbotron guy's going on.
Also really rude.
Skinner on the bench. And I was like, dude.
Nasty work.
Jesus
We're
Christ.
in the middle of gameplay, and the Jumbotron cuts to Stu Skinner sitting on the bench. And I was like, nasty work by the cameraman.
So conceptually, on the Skinner thing, Dan, if memory serves me, there's been quotes before last season, before the run they went on last season, from McDavid being like, we're just not getting the saves we need, and it's another year wasted of our playoff run. And then last year, certainly Stuart Skinner built some confidence in that room, I would hope. He took you to Game 7 of the final. Right now, if you are Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, are you like, I can't play with this guy. I can't play in front of this guy. We need to put somebody else in because this is unacceptable? Or do you go, it's okay, he'll figure it out?
I do not feel the former.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Giving up 6 or 12 in 2 games is not acceptable. I genuinely, man, I don't think Skinner's been great. I don't think many of these are his fault. I really don't.
Yeah,
the Kings are scoring very good goals.
Power play goals, a lot of power play goals.
There were 3 today, 2 on Monday.
Yeah, they got
Right?
5 of their 12.
Are power play goals, and they're really sexy power play goals. Then you have that nip QB's goal today. I can't remember if that was on the paper or not, but Bouchard's standing right there and just fucking backs into the far post and lets QB walk into the crease and then go inside outside tuck job. Like, these are good shots. They're really good goals, and I'm really not blaming Skinner that much on them. It sucks to say, I've given up 6 goals. I mean, he didn't give up 6 today, but you're giving up all these goals every game, but he's not giving in that week of goals. I really don't think so.
Yeah, even the OT winner was a fluff, but like that's just a weird play.
He didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, that was a sand wedge that like went. Oh yeah. There was a sand wedge that like went over Fogle and the defenseman. That wasn't his fault. There are a lot of Oilers fans in our DMs being like, fucking McDavid has to score 7 goals a game with Skinner in net. And I get it. I get the frustration, but I really don't think he's letting in these softies that are just absolutely brutal. So it's kind of I'm like, yeah, you need to be better, but I don't think he is as bad as it looks. Is all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I do think that Skinner had and it sucks, dude, because like everyone we know that knows him says he's so cool. Yeah. And I've never met him, and I feel like I've always dogging him.
Genuinely heard nothing but incredible
things. And I'm like, dude, I don't mean to be the guy dogging you, but I would say that he had a below average season, regular season. It was all career lows. We pointed that out. And then he's had a bad 2 games, frankly. And I've had so many people, Oilers fans, say when we were dogging Skinner, well, he was an all-star 2 years ago, so we're certainly not moving on. Every time I'm like, what do the Oilers need? I'm like, a goalie. And they're like, well, you want us to move on from our like young 20s all-star? Yeah. And I'm like, yes. And this is the last I'll say on that series and that game, but just like, how do you feel now? Yeah. Is anyone happy? Is anyone in Edmonton right now like, that's our guy, that's our goalie, and I can't wait to go in?
It's always fair weather and grass is greener with goalies, though, eh? Like, it's, I'm sure they're saying, no, we're unhappy, but they're the same people saying they were happy. So it's, it's tough.
Okay, last game of the night.
Yeah.
Capitals, Habs. My hot take is this series might be just what the Caps needed. And Dan, let me tell you why, dude.
Fucking douchebag.
Because this Habs team they can't win this series. Like, they just aren't quite good enough to beat this Capitals team. But they are good enough. You made the little brother joke. Was that today or was that in the pod? We do too many episodes now.
I know. I think it was yesterday.
You made that like you're playing with your little brother joke. You might have even been talking about the series. I can't remember. But it's like their Habs are good enough that they're making the Caps work for it.
Yeah.
It's not like what the Rangers got from the Caps last year, where it's like, this isn't, I got to go in cold to the next round, basically. The Caps are like, we're going to fight you tooth and nail, but you're still going to win every game. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it might be an exhausting sweep,
dude. And like, even if they don't sweep, I hope Montreal gets a couple.
I think they're going to get one in
but like, so then you get like a tough 5-game series, but you're like, hey boys, let's like get into playoffs. Yeah. If you're the Caps, like OV scoring, like LT is fucking dialed. We were just talking to him today. He looks like Tim Thomas, dude. You know, when he's like fucking flying all over the place, and I'm like, get in the net, dude. Yeah. But he's like diving, his stick's going everywhere, but he's saving everything. Yeah. I'm like, you are fucking vintage Tim Thomas right now. So I think that's good for them. Like, this is actually a really hard tight playoff hockey game series.
Yeah.
And because I thought Montembeault played awesome today.
He was fantastic.
Played awesome.
I think he was like the second star of the game. It was a goalie duel, frankly. And fuck, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I'm giving sloppy toppy to LT because he was phenomenal. Similar to Otter, 14 saves in the third period.
He was insane in the third.
He looked like a man possessed.
Yep, that's what I mean.
But he also, physically, he looks like a man possessed. And then every time it would cut to him, it genuinely looked like he was just vibing. Like, he wasn't doing this thing like the...
Yeah.
He was just kind of like...
Yeah.
I'm kind of crushing it right now. And I was like, yeah,
dude. And that's their attitude, I think. It's like, I mean, they've had these vibes all season, so it's hard to say that it's happening now. But Ryan Leonard, secondary assist on that second goal, great pass.
Yeah.
Cross the zone and after the entry. He's kind of like, oh, sick, I'm getting a taste of playoff action. I just think that so far this series has been perfect for them, obviously because they've won, but they're not even they're not on full cylinders yet either, which I think is a good thing. You're not like peaking in the beginning of the playoffs. They're just like, we're getting our feet under us, but we're playing good hockey and winning tight games, learning how to win these tight games in playoffs. And I didn't pick them to go that far, but these are the types of games and rounds that can really hone in a playoff run.
Yeah, they're such a team. Shout out Ryan Leonard, by the way, at Apple on the game winner.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you say assist. My bad. They are such a team.
Yes,
it's obviously Ovi gets 2 in that first game, but you see Stromer get 1 today. McMichael gets 1, and then the empty netter. PL's on the assists. Leonard's getting assists. They are such a unit, and I think a lot of this series, Montreal's so young and fast. They're skilled. And Chelly says it later in the episode. You'll hear it. This Washington team is just big. They're so big. And they're quick too. But, you look, it's like they're getting out hit. Montreal's getting out hit. And in these close games, OT and then this one, 3-1 with an empty netter, close games, goalie battles, the game gets tight, right? It gets gritty. A lot of the game is in the corners. And that is, like you said, they are having to grind it out. But it's like, that's why Washington, I think, is grinding it out. Yeah. It's like this game in particular, it got tight, even though Montreal was getting all around the net in that third period, getting so many shots on. But it's just what they need. I kind of agree. It's almost like this is the tougher first round series than maybe they expected. I know they're up 2-0, but it's cool. It's cool seeing Montreal make them fucking earn it. And
fuck yeah.
It's cool seeing them earn it too.
And I said, I think to Chelly also, and maybe last ep, if the Caps keep playing with their food like this, I'm not sure you scrape by in Montreal. Just the extra jump that they're getting from that crowd. Which isn't a guarantee, but I'm just saying that's a fear. If I'm playing super tight OT games against the Canadiens, I'd rather not do that in Montreal. So I'm willing to admit that if the Habs steal 2 of their own in Montreal, if they win an OT game and a 1-goal game in Montreal, and then you come back 2-2, this isn't what the Caps needed anymore.
No.
And they're like, fuck.
Totally.
Because we need to be playing better, and we should have been pushing harder from the beginning.
Yeah.
So if it continues, I'm like, yeah, you guys are laughing and this is probably good for you. But I am weary because I would be shocked if Montreal doesn't win a game.
I agree. I think they'll get one in Bell Center, and I think it'll be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And credit to him, man. These guys they're playing so well. This is a team that deserves to be in playoffs. And Dan really deserves it. And both of these games have been a fucking blast to watch. So I've got nothing but good things to say about this Montreal team. You know, it's going into just a bit more time I wanted to spend. It's, you know, game one was 3-2 in OT, right?
3-2, yeah.
And this one's 3-1. Yep. I'm not sitting here being like, God, you guys got to score more. It's like Cole scored, Suzuki scored, and Dvorak had it today. Is that who scored for
the empty netter?
No. Montreal's goal.
Yeah.
And it's because LT is playing so well. So I'm not like, you guys got to be like, dude, 14 shots in the third period.
Dude, 14
in Washington.
14-5 game 2 shots, 14-7 game 1 shots. Granted, they were chasing it, but like
still,
they've had two great third periods.
Great third periods. This team's playing fantastic, and Washington's just playing a little bit better. And that it's a cool series to say nothing but love to both these teams. One of them being a wild card.
Would you agree? And I don't mean to dog Ottawa because they actually had a good game 2, good fight back in game 2.
Yes, they did.
But after game 1, we had said that looked like an inexperienced playoff team. I wouldn't say that Montreal has played like an inexperienced playoff team at all, even though they are a very inexperienced playoff team.
Not in the slightest.
And that's really cool for the future of this HABS
Not
team.
in the slightest. It looks like a very well coached.
I was about to say a lot of that comes from top.
A very well coached young team. Even if this turns into a sweep, if you're a Montreal fan, I think you feel fantastic about the future of this group.
Yeah.
And before we kick it to our finishing part of the episode, I do just want to give another massive stroke off to LT, because so much of the worry going into the playoffs was, him needed to take some time off with a nagging injury. And it was like, what has been one of the biggest bastions of success to this season? It has been Logan Thompson joining this team and being lights the fuck out. Him coming into playoffs and being like, not hurt at all.
Dude, I said this the other day.
Monster.
How many shots did they have? Did the Habs have tonight?
I think 20 or 30 flat.
Okay, so tonight, 30.
No, sorry, 26.
25 save, 1 goal win. 2 nights ago, 33 save, 9.43 save percentage. And then, dude, we brought this up the other day. His playoff run in 23-24 for Vegas, I know it was only 4 games, and he lost 2 of them, but 9-2-1, 2-3-5. Like, he's actually been very solid in the playoffs.
Incredibly.
In his very short window. But I'm like, dude, there was no, and dude, when he was on, like, he said this. He was like, I'm the guy. Dude.
Yeah,
like, who doesn't think I'm the guy?
He's sick.
So that is fucking money.
I'm the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Let's get into some quick hitting news before we toss it to Chris Chelios. 3 things outside of playoffs going on that we just wanted to give quick takes on. Number 1, Chris Drury signs a multi-year extension with the New York Rangers as GM. Thoughts?
I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. I'm surprised a little bit in that coming off this season, you're like, that's our guy. Where I'm like, don't you have your hands all over this? Like, this is a disaster. And the Rangers don't look to me like they are in a place of like a great position to retool. Yeah. Last year, that's all I heard. Look how good Fox is. Look how good Laffy is. And look how good Shesty is. Shesty is good, but he's also overpaid. And now these 2 guys that you told me are so sick, like, I'm not sure are that sick.
Yeah.
So your retool, like, honestly, if you're the Bruins and you're trying to retool around Sway, Pasta, and Charlie, I like that way more than Fox, Laffy, and Shesty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, they love him there, and he loves being
I don't
there.
think they do. That's the thing. It's, we tweeted the other day when Lavs got fired, the majority of the responses were Drury next.
I think I meant the ownership.
Oh.
They're like, we love him, so.
Yeah, and clearly they do.
Yeah.
Dolan clearly is very happy with him. I think Drury's made some good moves. I think he's made some bad moves. I just always, you can't service the fan base as an owner. You obviously literally need to in some ways, but this is one of those, it's one of those double-edged sword situations where it's like, guys, you're buying season tickets. You're selling out MSG every night, no matter who's in that job. So until the team starts suffering, it's like they're not going to make these decisions. So it's always just interesting when you have such a loud portion of the fan base being like, get rid of this fucking guy, to then give him a multi-year extension. Almost feels like spitting in your fans' faces, which is a perfect segue into the next piece of news. The Boston Bruins had a press conference with the Jacobs, Neely, and Sweeney. Very strange media day. There's just a lot of almost contradicting each other. The Jacobs went on to say things like, honestly, I have no idea what the fans are upset about. It's not as bad as it seems. Like, it genuinely felt like they were pissing on the fans and telling them it was raining. Sweeney said a lot of PR responses like, we need to be better, we need to be held accountable. And I'm like, that's you. You need to be held accountable.
Yeah. We're talking about you.
Yeah. We're talking about you. So just another one that had Bruins Twitter up in arms. They say the plan is to make playoffs next year.
We anticipate making playoffs.
We anticipate making playoffs and spending a ton of money, and it just begs the question on who and where. And
yeah, I don't have much to add, dude. The Bruins honestly are in timeout for me until like something good happens, and which could be as early as next year. Maybe they do spend the right money and people have better seasons and they're like immediately in contention. But right now, I'm like, I can't even listen to you or look at you because
I agree.
This is ridiculous.
I'm going to enjoy my playoffs.
Yeah, thanks.
And then finally, the Quinn Hughes drama. Jim Rutherford also has a press conference where
I think Rutherford's goated. Like
he is.
He's like, JT Miller and Elias Pettersson hate each other and it sucks and we're going to trade one of them.
He just says whatever comes to his mind.
Whoa.
That man don't give a fuck about nothing.
It's awesome.
I think it's Quinn has 2 years left.
Yeah, I think so.
He is this year, this coming season, as in next season, and the year after that under contract, under almost certainly the best contract in the NHL.
Yeah.
I think Quinn makes like 7.86 or something. They were asked about him, what extension he might be looking at, and Rutherford said something along the lines of, it might not come down to money. He has made it very clear he wants to play with his brothers.
Yeah, we can't keep him.
Truly wild thing for your owner to say. Respect it.
Dude, like Jersey gets to now be like, hey, dude, here's a 5th rounder. Fuck you. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, it's like if Vancouver gets fleeced for Quinn Hughes, you have to fold the franchise.
You're done. You're done.
I don't even know what to say.
Brock Besser's a Minnesota Wild player next year. Quinn Hughes is a Devil. Like, Petey is like, where'd who go?
So we're not going to get into it too deep, but it will be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because if all of a sudden, remember, it was weird when Rutherford was just so open about PD and JT, and then like a week later, JT got traded. So it's weird now that he's like, I don't know, dude. Quinn wants to be in New Jersey.
We're trading him.
We're hearing crickets as someone's like this. Are you about to trade him to New Jersey? Insane. Okay, let's kick it to our chat with Chris Chelios. Our boy joins the show, gives us some rundown on a bunch of the playoff series. Obviously, want you guys to know this was earlier today before the 3 games that were played tonight, so things have changed. But you get Chelly's perspective on all of the other series, including these ones. Absolute blast chatting with him, as always. Taking a break to talk about hockey's favorite beer. You already know it. It's Labatt Blue. There is no question about it, guys. We are currently in the middle of playoffs. These games and these series are absolutely buzzing. That means you need to be buzzing too. The best way to do that is crack open a cold, crisp, refreshing Labatt Blue or Labatt Blue Light. All of them are fantastic. You know why? Because they are brewed with Canadian kindness. Yeah, that's the best kind of kindness that exists on this planet. And that is in every single pint, can, and bottle of Labatt Blue. You need a beer while you're watching these games. It's too tense. You're too tense without it. You're screaming so much, you need to wet your whistle. Do that with the Labatt. It's fantastic. So if you're saddled up at the pub, if you are sitting at home watching the game, or if you're there at the game, find a Labatt and get that in your system because it's going to make you feel amazing. It's going to make you feel kind. That Canadian kindness. And it's just going to make you enjoy the game more. It's the Empty Netter's favorite beer. It's hockey's favorite beer. It's got to be your favorite beer as well. Grab a Labatt Blue today. What do you think about the playoffs so far?
I mean, unbelievable start. 2 upsets yesterday. Teams got pounded at home, Tampa and Vegas. So no one sees that coming. But it's good to see Tkachuk back and healthy, and he come out of the gate with 2 goals. So, I picked Florida if they were healthy. We'll see what happens. But there's like 7 teams that are legit, depending if they stay healthy. And Big goal by Max Domi. That was sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huge.
Oh my God.
You're so right about the health factor. I mean, I feel like Tampa was so hot to end the year and everyone was counting out Florida, and now they've got the full line. Like, they don't even have Ekblad.
Yeah.
And they absolutely beat the wheels off Tampa. Do you feel like Tampa's freaking out because of that, or do you think they can reset in game 2? Yeah.
No, like Cooper's such a good coach, and they got so many veteran guys in there. It's just one game. Everybody knows that, but it's not a good way to start at home. That's for sure. You give up home ice advantage, to the defending Stanley Cup champs, right? So, and they've been there now. This is their, 2 times in the finals, and now with all that experience. So, I love the way they play Florida. Tampa too, though. They play the same game.
Yeah.
And that first period I thought was really even. But Chell, we were talking. You think, because obviously everyone keeps the injury stuff close to the vest, and you're like, I don't know what Matthew Tkachuk's going to give them when they finally show up. If you're Tampa and you see him look perfect and have 2 goals, is that a bit of a gut punch, or are you like, okay, whatever, we were in a fight anyway?
Well, again, when he's coming off his groin, it looked like, or something in his stomach. But it's amazing. I don't think he had surgery, and like you said, for him to come out like that, and him and Bennett, obviously, they set the tone pretty much every game, and now you got that rat Marsh on there too to chip in. So, good for them. I'm happy for them.
It's so true, and it's. You always talk about guys who need to set the pace. The fact that Bennett comes out, scores 1, knocking it out of the air, Tkachuk gets 2. You're just like, if you're Tampa, you're like, fuck me. Like, these guys are going immediately. They just pounded us. It's so tough.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great rebound year for Tampa. Like, they're, top in scoring and then 4th in defense. So, they got everything it takes, too. But, you got Bobrovsky against Vasilevsky, and then, you got Hagel, who's having an incredible year.
Oh, yeah.
Should be a great series.
Is game 2, if you're Tampa, must win? Like, if you lose game 2, do you still think you can take them down, or are you like, we literally have to win this game?
I've been there a few times, and you lose the first 2 at home. It's pretty tough to bounce back off of that. I've been on the other side of the coin too, but they can't drop 2 at home to a team like Florida, and go into their building. I think they know that. So a lot of pressure. All the pressure's on Tampa.
Yeah.
That's true. I think the fact I was talking about earlier, like, they're so close. It's just the Battle of Florida, right? I'm not even sure if home ice matters that much, but I do think the factor of it being Florida, as in the team.
Yeah.
Like, that is a team you can't go down 0-2 against. That would be a disaster. So, that is a huge game, too. You mentioned the Max Domi goal. That was sick. Do you believe in Toronto this year?
Yeah,
or do you think
how good are the Leafs, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, again, they've regular seasons. There's no question they're a great team for years now. I think the biggest difference is Berube, right? He's got the Stanley Cup pedigree with St. Louis. He's a hard-nosed guy. I think that shows the way they play. They're more physical, more accountability. And now it's just a matter of doing the playoffs. And I think huge break for them to get Ottawa first round, as opposed to getting the heck beat out of them by Florida or Tampa, and maybe that's just a breath of fresh air for them. Not that Ottawa's going to be a pushover, but I'm sure that's a matchup they would have liked to see first round, and then you'll see Florida and Tampa kill each other, this round, and then Toronto, when they do meet them, they'll hopefully they'll be healthy and it'll be a better matchup for them than first round, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because we had been talking about. I was afraid once Toronto had won the division, you're either getting Montreal or Ottawa, one of the wild card teams. And I was saying to Dan, I was like, man, if I'm Toronto, Ottawa scares me more than Montreal might have, just because of how physical Ottawa can be. And you got Brady Tkachuk and the battering ram forecheck and all that stuff. But I thought Toronto has matched that level in the first 2 games to the point that I'm almost ready to call this thing. Do you think Ottawa has some punch back at home, or is this just a Leafs steamroll?
Again, if they win next game, they're right back in the series, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, this is a do or die game, obviously, especially the way Toronto has been playing all year and now carried over here. But Ottawa had to battle to get in the playoffs for a while, and they did it. And they're playing playoff hockey, for the past 2 months, is where Toronto kind of cruised in there and had a terrific year, but they're healthy and. And again, Max was out for a while too with that groin.
Yeah.
And a guy like that, it's just more guys that can contribute. Tavares, Matthews and so on, Nylander. They're loaded, but they got to play good defensively. And I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game, but that they can't have those breakdowns that they've had in the past.
Yeah. Actually, I have two questions for you about that, Chell. Question one, how much of a mental toll is it when you feel like you've been in playoffs for 2 months already, when you finally get to playoffs? And then question two is, obviously wins are all that matters in playoffs, but if you're Ottawa, do you take anything positive out of that comeback? We were down 2-0, we could have got crushed, but we came back. Even though we lost in OT, do you take some of that with you into Game 3?
Oh, no question. It's frustrating. And, and they can get going the other way. That's confidence and momentum. But again, in playoffs, it's all about the next game. You can't look back, whether it was good or bad for you. It's just all about the next game. And then, you hope to not get in that situation where it's a must-win, do-or-die game.
Yeah.
And this is it for Ottawa. You go down 3-0, you're done.
Yeah. You mentioned Berube earlier. How much do you really think he is playing a factor? I'm not saying I doubt him, but it is always like you look at the team. There wasn't that much turnaround. There were some good ads on defense, definitely. But how much do you think his mentality, the way he coaches, is actually motivating this group, maybe more than it has in the past?
Well, he's scary as a player to look at him. I'm sure as a player looking at him as a coach, it's the same. So. I mean, I don't think he's a type of guy. I don't know for a fact a yeller, but I think he's stern and to the point, and the accountability thing. And you can't question him. Guys will buy into what he's saying because he's been there and done it, right? You have to.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
so true.
Previously the coaches before him, they had one, and it's just at some point the message doesn't come clear. But Berube, they can't second guess him.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's won, recently too. Like 2019 is not that long ago, so that's a big factor.
With a team that got hot too, you know what I mean? He was Definitely. Like, I know how to ride this wave. Chell, you mentioned earlier the Vegas Wild game was crazy last night. Are you watching that at all worried if you're Vegas, or are you like, oh, we were a little sloppy, whatever, we're fine?
No, I'm quite honestly, I didn't get to watch that whole game. I was doing something. I'll plug it. Our tequila company. We were selling tequila last night. But,
Let's go.
Just saw the highlights. We'll get to that later. But no, I mean, Minnesota, again, their bread and butter is they play well defensively, and Kaprizov, right? He's their guy. So, Vegas is going to have to hunker down on him. He's you take him away and you take away a lot of their offense.
Yeah. And it's been, I think a lot of us forgot how well Kaprizov was playing to start this year. He was leading the league in goals, MVP favorite, and it was, quarter way through the season, but still he was flying. And I kind of wrote the Wild off just because of all the injuries, and they were slipping at the end. I was like, this is going to be, I think I said a sweep. I was like, this is over. And even in game 1 loss, I thought they played much better to their potential with everybody healthy. And good to see a little fight here, because now I think Vegas maybe was thinking to themselves, let Dallas and Winnipeg and Colorado beat the shit out of each other. Well, we kind of roll here. And now they might be in for a long one too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got all the confidence in Vegas. So I love Cassidy. I mean, I don't think there's too many better coaches than him, along with Montgomery and a few of the other guys, Maurice. But yeah, that's a veteran team, and I still don't think Minnesota's ready to tackle them.
Yeah, I think that's so true.
I agree.
I do want to give some airtime to the Jets. Obviously, President's Trophy winning team, wire to wire. I feel like they were a wagon all season long, and now they're playing the Red Hot Blues, and they're up 2-0. Do you feel like this is a different Jets team this year? Like they could make a good run. They have Helly maybe stumbled a bit in game 1, but played great in game 2. Do you believe in the Jets team?
Absolutely. Like I said, I mentioned earlier that there's 7 teams that are legit Stanley Cup, contenders this year, and they're definitely got to be at the top with how. After what happened last year, no one saw that coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes you learn from that. This time they're ready. I think they're there. They got a big, fast team, and they got Hellenbuck, right? He's MVP and possible MVP, but for sure Vezina Trophy winner. So. Yeah, I love to watch their team. Got to see them play in Chicago last week in town, and they're incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, and they have people going. I was saying going into playoffs, you got a career year from Scheifele, a career year from Kyle Connor, a damn close to career year from Hellebuck, Vezina winner for sure. And you go, do we maintain that in playoffs? Because we've seen with the Leafs year and year again, the Austin Matthews scores 70 in the regular season and then scores 1 in the playoffs. And the fact that they're getting goals from their stars immediately, Chelly, right? Like Scheifele's got 2 already, Connor's got 2 already, game-winning goals. Isn't that awesome for team morale when you're like, our best guys are going right away?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, those are the guys, that got to win it for you. You still need that depth, guys chipping in. But usually when a team wins, that's what does happen. Other guys will start chipping in. Everything seems to go right for you. You get the big goals when you need them, the big saves when you need them. And right now, that's where Winnipeg is.
Yeah. We talked about it, man. I think that they are one of these teams, along with the Wild of the last several years, losing in the first round, Carolina never really getting over the hump. The Wild definitely have this stink around them that's like, the Jets have this stink around them that's like, oh yeah, you're great in the regular season, but you just can't get the job done. And I actually love that they played the Blues in this first round because it's other than the Kings, like we've talked about, one of the hottest teams in the league to finish the year after the Four Nations break. And they look so calm. Yeah. That's what I keep saying. They look so calm against this team, against a great goalie in Binner, and it's showing why they're the President's Trophy winners. So to kind of answer the bell of that pressure of you were great all year, now you're playing this really good team, and they're up 2-0. It's like, it's as good as a start as you could ask for.
It's pretty sick.
It's huge.
Chelly, talk to me about Avs Stars. You've been able to watch any of that?
I watched the first game, and McKinnon, unbelievable. Jesus, he just doesn't stop.
I know, dude.
It's crazy. Like his feet.
It's insane. It's insane.
Flying around, and then you got Makar and Taves. I think the best pair of defense in the league. So they're strong. They got great goaltending that first game. Whatever happened the last year, I don't know that they didn't play the same defensively. Mm-hmm. The goaltending was a bit of an issue, but again, they're one of those teams that I think, they got every good as chance as anybody to win the cup the way they play.
And do you think, we're not sure yet, but there's a chance that Landeskog plays tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, what kind of boost will that give to the boys? And what do you think he has in him, Chell? You've dealt with injuries. That guy hasn't played in 3 years. It must be hard to come back to an NHL game with that much time off.
But then also as a player, how much of a lift do you think that is for the boys? He hasn't played since they literally lifted the cup. Now all of a sudden he's going to be in the locker room going to battle with them. Is that one of the more uplifting things that a player could ask for in the playoffs?
I don't think there's a guy in the league that's not cheering for him, quite honestly.
So real.
Just a shame that he's had to sit out at his age and, winning the cup and then having, this happen to him. I've had knee injuries before, and some taking a year to recover, but 3 years, he's done everything he can to try and, surgeries and treatments and flown all over the world to try and fix what it is. But, it's just time's going to tell whether he's as effective.
Yeah.
You play, but you lose that step, and it's a big thing. What he had, that the skill and the strength that he had, but definitely, it's got to be a big lift for that team. And if he could stay healthy and get back to contributing like he was before, man, what a big bonus that is for the Avalanche.
Can you imagine that ad? But Chell, what kind of do you think it's a tough call? Or it's almost a tough position for the Avs. Let's say he can play. He's healthy enough to play, but he's not effective to a point that you might be scratched if you weren't Landeskog. Is that a tough spot to be in? Because you're I don't know what to do with this guy because he's healthy and he wants to be in there, but he's not doing the job. What do you think goes into that?
I think that's going to be on Landeskog. I don't think I don't think he's too concerned about maybe contributing as much as he is, hurting the team. Mm-hmm. As a forward, you get away with it a little bit, right? Not like a defenseman, But I think that's the biggest thing. And he's a big boy. I think he'll know. If he doesn't think he can do the job, he'd be the first one to admit it.
That's a great point. I was going to say that might be on Bednar a little bit, but I actually think Landy is such a pro that he would be the first to say, I'm not getting it done. That's a good point. Not talking about maybe your favorites. Has anyone surprised you so far through a couple games? You mentioned these 7 teams or so that could look like they could win a cup. Completely agree with you on that. Has anyone come out so far in these first couple of games that you've been like, oh shit, and might seem like more of a threat than maybe people considered them?
Not really. I mean, again, the two upsets, Tampa losing at home and then Minnesota beating Vegas in Vegas. But I watched the Montreal-Washington game, and Montreal is doing exactly what they need to do. They're getting under people's skin. They're driving Wilson crazy. They got to draw penalties. They are. And they're playing loose and cocky. And they get back into Montreal. Washington's going to have their hands full, especially – first game overtime. It was an amazing game. Montreal hung in there. I didn't see that coming, but now after watching them play that game, that surprised me.
I agree, dude. I think they played tonight, right?
Yeah.
I have eyes peeled heavy on that game tonight because that could get sketchy.
Yeah, because I was saying that the Washington playing with their food a little bit in game one, letting Montreal come back. They hang on. Ovi gets the winner. Everyone's happy. I don't think you can get away with playing that loose when you're in the Bell Center and the crowd's going crazy in there against you. I feel like that gives the Canadiens the push.
Yeah, and in Washington's defense, quite honestly, the first game at home in playoffs is a real tough one for the home team. It generally is the home ice thing, right? You lose that one, all the pressure's on you to the second game. So that's a tough game to win that first game. Maybe Washington had the jitters, first game at home. So we'll see. This second game, it's really important for Montreal.
Yeah, and I want I had picked the Caps to roll in that series, but the Habs looked really good, and I want that for the fans just because the buzz there is so crazy with them making playoffs.
Oh, my God.
And that one, too, like Suzuki and Caulfield, like all the boys that are going good right now. So I think that's going to be a sick one when it gets to Montreal.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just think the size of Washington is going to ultimately take over. They're just big everywhere, and for Montreal, not so much. Those guys you mentioned, Caulfield, Suzuki, they can skate, no question. But with Washington's D, Chikrin, and Carlson, those guys are big bodies.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. I mean, we always talk about the playoffs are such a different beast for so many reasons, but I do think the physicality becomes a much bigger factor than the regular season. We're seeing the game adapt so much. Speed and skill is sort of taking over the game. But once you get into the playoffs, you look at a team like Florida and Vegas the year before who win the Cup. There's a big reason why, and it's because they are banging people around. Yeah. So that's such a good point.
And you got to be disciplined. You can't afford to take penalties.
I know, it makes you pay.
Especially lower seed teams, yeah.
Here's another one with a game tonight, Chel, so we'll see what happens. But I just want your opinion on the mental game of it. If you're the Kings and you have that game one where you win, but you're up huge, and then McDavid goes crazy and comes back. What's the mental state of Kings players right now?
I mean, again, to be up 4, that's a credit to them for setting themselves up for, almost failure, but to come back and win the way they did, that goal was goofy.
I know.
Oh, dude, little changeup, chip shot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was funny. I had to look at it 3 times to see what happened, but yeah. But no, Edmonton's, they got McDavid and they got Draisaitl, and then the rest, any win's a win, and LA plays so good at home. Their record at home is incredible.
Yeah.
So, that's got to be a big confidence, booster for them. And, it's that first game again. So we'll see what happens. But LA plays hard against them. I think they won the season series against them.
Definitely. Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
It doesn't count for a lot, but still, for mentally, like you mentioned, I think they're in a good spot, LA.
It's an interesting spin zone of going, it was ugly, but you won a game against the Oilers where McDavid had 3 or 4 points.
Yeah,
so you're like, that's a fucking win, dude. Like, who gives a shit, Like, at the end of the day, you got the W in the column. That's all that matters.
Yep. Yeah, they're not stopping them, so you better outscore them, right? That's the only way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious what you think, shifting towards, from playoffs to looking larger. With the Leafs, good job, up 2-0, going back to that series real quick. How important do you think this season is for them? With Marner's contract up, Tavares' contract up, the switch with Berube at coach, Matthews getting the C. How different do you think this postseason result is than it has been for the past few years?
I mean, every year, it's happened where they have a disappointing playoff. You think something huge is going to happen. So far, it's mostly been, just coaching changes, right? It hasn't really been, a lot of player personnel. Now, Tavares, always under the scrutiny and captain. Now with Matthews being the captain, obviously.
True.
And it hasn't seemed to bother either one of them or the team.
Yeah.
So you got to wait and see what happens. But again, I think Berube's the key, adding him and with the factor of that he's won and the players love him. I talked to Ty. The players absolutely love him.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazing.
There's no doubt about that.
Is to just hit the last series, Chell, does Carolina, it looks like Carolina's going to roll. They're playing well. Devils are actually giving more of a fight than I expected.
Yeah.
But Carolina, for the last handful of years, is this team that everybody's so excited about, and this sleeper team, and then they get rolled in the second or third round every time. I think they've been swept for the Eastern Conference Finals every time they've been. Are they showing you anything different this year, or do you feel like it's maybe more of the same?
It's the same, but I mean, they don't go outside the box, but they're one of those teams that they just, because of Brind'Amour and the structure and the defensive play, it doesn't seem like they go outside the box very much, and guys taking off and they're not a lot of breakaways, but they play the game right. They're one of the teams you can watch them play a full 60 minutes and not make any mistakes, no outnumbered situations, very disciplined, very well structured defensively. So that'll always win you games, but like you said, they haven't been able to get over the hump. You need one or two guys that think outside the box and take chances, and at the right times, obviously.
Anticipate, yeah.
Score. And I think he has so much. That they listen to him and to everything he says. I think every guy's bought into Brind'Amour's structure and system, and it doesn't hurt them. But again, you still need those guys, like a guy like Kane that's going to do his thing.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of trust. So I think at some point, Brind'Amour's got to let that leash a little longer to create more offense when they need it.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I love that take, actually. It's like when you look at some of the talent they have, you got to let those guys off the leash a little bit.
Yeah.
That's very real.
Okay, so I want to do, and I know it's early and impossible, but I want to hear everyone's Stanley Cup final prediction.
Yeah. I want to hear, we have all these teams, but who do you like out of the East and who do you like out of the West?
Well, I'm not going to go against Florida. I picked them in the beginning of the year. If they're healthy now. Right?
Yeah,
so
they sure are.
I'm taking Florida out of the East. Out of the West, geez, man, I mean, I love the way Winnipeg plays. I really do. I think Canada, it's Canada's turn. Like, it's got to be. So I can't pick Toronto because I'm picking Florida. I'll go with Winnipeg.
Wow.
I love that.
Me too.
Shelly, I can't believe you're making me fly from Winnipeg to Fort Lauderdale again for the final.
Yeah, that's going to stink. Yeah, but you know what? They're due. There'll be another Canadian, American final, so we'll see what happens. But I won't count anybody out. What McDavid can do is crazy. He carried them to the 7th game last year, him and Draisaitl. So there's nothing he can't accomplish either.
Yeah. Actually, Chell, no joke. Who do you think would you say right now cannot win? Because there's not that many that I would think.
I think there's a lot. And now that's a difference between who can win a first round series and who can't win the cup. I think there's several that I would say can't
Devils,
win the cup.
Habs, sorry.
Devils, Minnesota. I'm going to say Minnesota. I don't think it's a legit. LA still, I don't think they have what it takes.
Oh, really?
As much as I love how hard they play. But Dallas, I don't know why. I just don't have a lot of faith in Dallas either for some reason. And even though they have Ottinger and the rest of that crew there, but they're missing Robertson, right? And
Yep.
Huskinen just got back, which is a big plus for them. But, God, I mean, like I said, I still think there's 7 teams legit can win that cup. That's my opinion.
Most open it's been in a long time.
Which is so fucking exciting, man. It's crazy.
No, it's crazy playoff. It's going to be amazing. You're making me pick a winner, but I can't pick a winner.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think mine is like East. It's I picked Tampa, and then they just got slapped in the face, and so I don't want to be a coward.
But it's like maybe it's the winner of that.
But
series,
I think it's that. Like I'm picking the state of Florida. That's the state of Florida is coming out of the East for me.
Safe.
And I still believe in Colorado. I think it was a great win by Dallas, but I think Colorado, I think they've got something this year. And I'm so excited to see the boost of Landy, whether he's a huge contributor or not. I just think it's going to be, that barn's going to be fucking nuts
Well,
tonight.
dude, I will say to both of your picks, that second round of Winnipeg, presuming they win, of Winnipeg versus Colorado or Dallas. It will be a great series and really cool for Winnipeg, who will be over the hump finally of round one, and then just like, can we prove it against these best teams who we've beaten in the regular season? But can we prove it in the playoffs? That's going to be sick.
A Winnipeg final would be, can you imagine that arena and that fan base? That would be scenes.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not cheering for them, but I just got a feeling maybe this would be their year.
I love it. I love the call.
All right, Chelly, you're the man for hopping on with us. We'll let you go.
Hey, actually, wait. Tell us about the tequila. What were you guys up to in Key West?
That's what I wanted to know last.
Yeah, the Keys. I don't know if you've been down to the Keys.
Oh, many times.
It's all, those cruise ships empty out. It's like a carnival down there. Right? It's almost like New Orleans but clean and nice, and and then a lot of hockey fans. Geez, they don't have an ice rink over there. They got an inline skating league. I guess they take pretty serious, but. Some, a lot of drinking going on during the winter there, and like I said, it was amazing. The Boston fans, the Philadelphia fans, and everybody real courteous and nice to me after all the years of bad blood. It was great to be around everybody, and a lot of Chicago, Michigan people. So, but again, surprisingly, everybody like really fired up for the playoffs, and pretty cool to see that in a setting like that with all those bars. But it's a big sports town, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And which show are you going to? You going to tomorrow night's Pearl Jam, or which one you hitting, or both?
Every one of them.
Okay, good.
Every one I can. So I'll be there Thursday and Saturday in Fort Lauderdale, and check in at home for a little bit, see the new grandkids, and then and head back out to probably Pittsburgh and Nashville.
Okay, amazing. Are you going to be in Lottie for a game?
You know what? There's a 1:00 game on Saturday, so we thought about it, but I just that drive, and I'm staying in Miami with a buddy who's got a beautiful boat.
It makes it hard to get up to sunrise.
I don't think you can get to the rink from the boat. It's not on the water, so no, I don't think I'm going to go.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Get a TV on the boat. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
dude.
we're
It's
laughing.
fantastic.
Got a nice. Victor's right over here. He's got his company's Rate, mortgage company, biggest mortgage company in the country. So I've been hanging around him for a few years since the Cubs won the World Series. But we got a good thing going down here with him and his.
I won't lie. I wouldn't leave.
Yeah,
I wouldn't leave either.
That's perfect.
There's a nice TV on the boat too. So big TV.
There you go. Maybe I'll catch a flight down to Miami.
Maybe we'll come down and hang with you, dude. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, brother. You're the man. We'll definitely have you check in again later in the playoffs to see where things stand. But it's always a blast chatting with you.
Sounds good. If it ain't Winnipeg, it'll be Colorado. I'm with you. All right.
Hey,
Okay,
there we go. I love it.
What a legend Chris Chelios says, Dan. And obviously that's the aura about him. Is that what the kids are saying? Aura. There's aura about him.
He has aura for sure.
But it's even more insane. Like, I'm like, Chelly, what are you doing? And he's like, just got back from Key West doing a brand deal for the tequila that I invented. And now I'm in Miami touring with Pearl Jam backstage. And like, I don't know if I'll have time to go to the Panthers game because I'll be on a yacht.
Just watching games on boats.
I'm like, what?
Guy's absolutely shredded still. He's got a crispy golden tan.
I love him, dude.
Every time we talk to Chelly, I'm like, God, I wish I was just hanging out with him.
Me too.
Every time.
Literally, I was like, I'll come down.
Me too. Same. I was like, I'll buy a ticket, dude. Why not?
So huge thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
We'll have him back on in the playoffs. Awesome hearing from him. It's like the mental stuff I like from him.
He's just
what I mean?
he's so smart, man. He just understands the game so well. It's why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
He's the
why
fucking
I was
best.
glad he was.
Love you, Chelly. Thank you for popping on. Let's quickly hit a starting six, and then let's get into some trivia. Starting out at left wing, Krill the Thrill. 5 points, looks unreal, looks like the MVP he was.
Yeah, like the playoffs for these were just going to be more like eye tests, but it's just been awesome. And so for center, we're going Mark Scheifele. 5 points in 2 games. I said to somebody today, it's or maybe it was Chelly, but we do so many things now. I don't know what day anything happened.
I don't know what day it is. I don't know when we did anything.
But Scheifele and Connor going, picking up right where they left off in the regular season. Awesome to see. He's been great. Keep chugging.
Yep. Our boy Juice Kempe leads the playoffs with 7 points in 2 fucking games. I mean, he just like
It's like, what?
absolute machine today. Couple tucks with one of the grossest of the playoffs so far. That bar out, unbelievable.
Nasty. Left D, we're going Thomas Harley. point in every game in the playoffs, and he's looked perverted, to be honest.
He really has, and just adding to the points, the way he is stepping up and taking the place of Miro being gone,
Power
eating
play,
more minutes, eating shots, looks unbelievable. Guy who's also doing that, Petro. Alex Pietrangelo, 2 points and is a +2, which includes a game they got crushed in.
And he's been the guy doing his job.
And
I had my guy.
Eating.
Yep.
Eating.
And then goalie, we're going Freddie Anderson. How could you not? 960 save percentage, 1 goal against. He looks as fresh as Lettuce Dan for the rest of the playoffs. I'm calling him Freddie Iceberg. What do you think about that?
I really like that.
Freddie Iceberg over there in Carolina.
I really like that.
Dude, because he is crisp, dude. Put him in a wedge. Drizzle some blue cheese over the guy.
Little bacon sprinkled
Little
on there?
bacon.
Come on.
Freddie Iceberg.
I love
Congratulations.
Want to do some trivia?
I do.
Okay.
I want to play a trivia game. And for the new listeners, we rotate trivia games here. And Dan does them, I do them. We pick a new game. We kind of rotate through 4 trivia games. And this one's back to me because Dan did the last 4. And this game is called Connective Tissue. Not What's the Connection, which is our 10 trivia question things. This is Connective Tissue, which is there are 2
players,
NHL players, and I give you descriptions of both of them, and their names are going to meet in the middle.
Yes.
So, for example, we had done. Who'd you do last time?
One time I did I can't remember.
Well, the first one I ever did was Scott Steven Stamkos.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yep. So Scott
People know
Stevens,
the game by
Steven
now.
Stamkos.
You guys know the game by now.
Okay, so Dan, are you ready?
Yeah.
I have a version of this that's like a little bit harder. So if you don't get it right away, I'm going to add some things to their description.
Okay, so you're going to embarrass me.
No, because just sometimes I make them too easy for you.
Okay.
Okay. So I played 1 season at UMass, and then was drafted, becoming the highest draft pick in the school's history. I've played for 4 teams already, and in my 3rd stop, I won a Stanley Cup. Then, I also played college hockey and was a finalist for the Hobey Baker. But I went undrafted and shined with the team that took a chance on me, making it to a Stanley Cup but not winning. I left my first team in free agency after 9 years there to sign with someone new, but I missed this past season due to injury. So tell me what you're thinking. If you have a lead on either one, I can read both again, and then tell me which ones you want added details to. What gets you rattled?
The 4 teams got me rattled.
Okay. That guy again. I played 1 season at UMass.
Yep.
And then was drafted, becoming the highest draft pick in the school's history. I've played on 4 teams already. In my 3rd stop, I won a Stanley Cup.
4 teams, dude.
So that's interesting.
I feel like I know one of them.
Okay, that's interesting. Which
Is one of them a friend of the pod?
One of them is a friend of the pod.
Okay, I think I know the first one.
Really?
I think so. Say it again.
I played
1 season at UMass
and then was drafted.
And have played 4 seasons, or for 4 teams.
Becoming the highest draft pick in school's history. I've played for 4 teams already. In my 3rd stop, I won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more detail on that one, and then you can confirm.
Okay.
Just be honest if you change your answer, though.
Okay.
I want you to know.
I will be honest.
I played 1 season at UMass and was drafted in the 2nd round, becoming the highest draft pick in the school's history. I've played on 4 teams already, and in my 3rd stop, I won a Stanley Cup. I'm of Mohawk descent.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge lacrosse guy.
I know it. Okay, I know the first one. And the second one, undrafted Hobey Baker. Oh, wait. Sick.
And do you think you know it for sure?
I think I do for sure.
Can I give you a little bit more?
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
Okay.
Sick. I actually might be wrong. Give me him.
Okay. Here's one more piece.
I'm definitely right because he's undrafted.
I also played college hockey for Michigan State.
Yeah, okay,
And was
I got it.
for the Hobie
I got
Baker
it.
as a defenseman.
Yeah.
Then I went undrafted, but shined with the team that took a chance on me, making it to a Stanley Cup final, but not winning.
Our connective tissue player is Brandon Montori-Krug.
Brandon Montori-Krug.
Really good one.
Dude.
A couple of puck-carrying offensive defensemen. You love to see it.
I got to see if I can find this, dude, and I'm actually fucking pissed at myself that I didn't do this ahead of time.
I always forget the UMass of Monty.
Same.
Always.
Same. Damn, dude. I wonder if I'm not going to be able to find this. Maybe I took a picture. I promise to this person I will find this and give you their justice. The last time I did connective tissue with you, I forget what I did, but it was a good one. And it was actually kind of a fun one. It was
very fun.
You did like Logan Couture, Brandon Carr Logan Couture.
Brandon Carr Logan Couture.
Like you got me on a good one, and I gave you a good one. And a dude DM'd me and goes to my personal, which is a burner.
Your burner.
And goes, dude, you should do, next time you do that to your brother, you should do Brandon Montori-Krug.
Oh.
And I was like, I responded, I go, dude, that is fucking tremendous. But keep in mind, Dan, when he sent that to me, I had like 3 more weeks of games for you and then 4 weeks of you games to me. Like I've just been sitting on this gold mine for 2 months, dude. And I'm going to have to find this dude, but he's a legend, and I hope you're listening, and thank you so much for the tip, because that was a sick one.
Yeah, that was a sick one. This was also a sick episode. Kind of loving the vibe here. Before we bounce, show some love to our boy.
Just want to say, I hope everyone is a fan of Game Notes and watched the Game Notes episode today. But our very good friend, Matt Murley, was inducted into the New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. Incredible honor, incredible career, incredible guy. There was in Leo DiCaprio's Oscar speech. Do you remember what he said about Tom Hardy?
Yeah, I do.
He said, your talent on screen is only surpassed by your friendship off screen. And that's exactly how I feel about Merles. Your talent on the ice, which got you in the Hall of Fame, is only surpassed by your friendship off of it.
It is rare in life when you meet someone and instantly know that you'll be friends with them for the rest of your life. And that is what Matt Murley does.
Yep.
And it's about time.
About
the
time.
state of New York put him in the Hall of Fame right where he belongs.
He'll be inducted
you know
this
where he's
July.
already in the Hall of Fame?
Right here.
Right in here.
Right here. And as a tribute to Merles, and I'm going to send him this, as a tribute to Merles, I want him to know that at the Kings game tonight, we bet on a parlay that there would be a Draisaitl anytime goal, a Kempe anytime goal, and Kings money line.
And over 5.5 goals.
And over 5.5, which we hit for an absolute payday. But at the last minute, we added Oilers will score first, which they did not. So we lost everything. You're welcome, Merles.
In honor of you, pal.
God damn it, dude. So that was a nightmare. But Merles, you were not a nightmare. Congratulations again.
Congrats, buddy. That is it for us tonight at the Empty Netters podcast. Guys, hope you're enjoying this new format. We're loving it. It's absolute chaos. We're up all night, but it's
Empty
fun
Netters
as hell.
After Dark.
We love you guys. We will see you on Friday. Well, I mean, you'll be checking this pod out. We'll see you Friday morning on the live.
Friday morning live.
And until then, you know what to do.
Skate hard.